Thank you for saying that. Now we are.
I wanted just to make sure because I didn't know if I'd missed clicking in or not.
No, gracias. Thank you. I got too darn carried away with that SRP story. Oh my goodness. Dios mío. Que lío, what a mess I had today. Ok, vale, bueno. Vamos a empezar con destinos. No hay ninguna pregunta. You don't have a question first or no? Oh, sí, Jen.
Dice, nunca se repuso de la muerte de su esposa. I assume that means he didn't get over it.
Yes,
he never got
sí.
Yeah.
Exacto, sí. ¿Y Jen? Jen, ¿tienes pregunta? Do you have a question, Jen?
They use the term, they use the word, can you hear me? It says my internet's unstable. Suroeste is southwest. So like, I have never heard the words for northeast, southwest.
Oh, qué buena pregunta.
How do you remember those?
How do you remember those? Qué buena pregunta. This is why I like to open it with a general question session. Okay. Vamos a ver. Direcciones, instrucciones. And actually, I have a video ready. Which, it'll kind of depend on how our time goes. This is kind of a good time to revisit that idea of asking about directions. There's a good video. Oh, good. I did lose it. I got to go back and find it. There is a video on that, which I can send out as homework. But, here are some really general things. Because sometimes when you ask for directions, people will tell you to go east, west, north, south. Oh my gosh, I'm in trouble if they ask that, because unless I am here where I know where north and south are, I'm in trouble. Even then, east and west, I can tell, but, yeah. Okay. Aquí vamos. Okay. Este, wow, what a confusing word. Este means lots of things. So you have to be listening for all the words that are around este. Este will mean east. Este, however, might be used as one of those pause words. Este might mean that. If they say it like this, este. Yeah, este can also mean, this is one of those, wow, why do they have so many different words? Topics, which is actually what we're doing this session. Yeah, it's one of those. So let's pause there for a moment, because este can mean a bunch of things. In the context they were using, it meant east, the direction. It can also mean this. Este libro, este carro, este mes, this month, este día, this day. Este hombre, this man. So este can mean a lot of things. So you have to be listening for all the words around este, but este, east. Okay, so let's get the 4 general points, and then we'll do those because she used some not so general things. Este, oeste. Oeste, west. Okay, este is probably not too hard to remember for east. Oeste, well, they don't have a letter W except for foreign words that come from foreign languages. There is no W letter in the Spanish alphabet. It only comes in through words that come in from other foreign languages. So, you have to be thinking, we say west, oeste, that's about as close as they get to a W sound, oeste, west. Okay, entonces norte, muy obvio. Norte y sur, south, which, by the way, you may hear as sud, like Sudamerica, like Sudamerica. Sometimes instead of saying sur, sometimes they'll call that America del Sur, sometimes Sudamerica. So when you hear sud, it's like a fill-in word for sur, a step, it steps in. Sur. Okay. Let's look at the, wow, she was talking about like which directions we're driving, right? So you could have whoop, noreste, northeast. You could have noroeste, northwest. You can get into lots of things like that. Suroeste, southeast, and they're crush compacting those words together, kind of like we do, except sometimes some letters get dropped. But the main, cardinal points are este, oeste, norte, sur. So those are the basics. She got into more picky, northwest, southwest kind of things because she got into driving directions, showing people on a map. So that was a little complicated. But, other good words for you to know with directions are the word derecho, or they might, instead of that, use recto. And that means straight ahead. Either one of those words, they're interchangeable. Derecho, recto. So these I bring up because they're important when people give you directions. Derecho is not at all the same thing as derecha. You would think they should be related because one ends in O and one ends in A, and it must be some subtle little difference. And it's not subtle, it's like a great big huge difference. A la derecha is to the right. And right sure is not straight ahead. Right? And the other one, which is a hard one, well, it isn't really, but people are intimidated by this word. Probably because it's long. To the left. Izquierda or a la izquierda. A la izquierda. To the left, a la izquierda, a la derecha, to the right. But when derecha turns into derecho, it's that. And the word they'll probably start with that you're likely to hear a lot with that is siga. And siga is a real general way of saying keep on, continue, go on. Siga derecho means keep going straight. Siga derecho. Right? So, and oddly enough, there are like 3 different words that mean turn. It could be gira, it could be dobla, So you'll hear different things. And actually, this is a good time for me to share. A lot of you will remember this. There's one thing, it's like, how to ask for directions with only, what does he say? 3 words, 5 words, something like that.
Oh, right.
It's that kind of obnoxious video. The guy got that boom, 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 boom. But actually, and his accent is not the best, but it was super good advice. The one thing to know is when you, and actually, when you go back to that video, you saw this as well, because he brings this up in the directions video. And it's the whole thing of without fail, every single time, when you ask, ¿Cómo llego a? How do I get to? ¿Cómo llego a? People will immediately turn and point. That is the honest to God truth. People will do this, they'll turn and point, and they'll tell you how many minutes walking. Because in most cities outside of our culture, people walk a lot more than they do here. So, okay, if you're in Mexico City, something's really, really huge, maybe not as much, but people assume that you do a lot more walking. So they'll tell you how many minutes walking. So I'm going to make sure I send you the link to that little video because it is the like down and dirty, how do I ask for directions video, which is super helpful. And the other thing to know about that, ¿dónde está? aquí bien. Una cosita más, one more thing, is that, you know, a lot of times when you ask how far is something, first of all, ¿cómo llego a? How do I get to? ¿Cómo llego a? ¿Cómo llego a? How do I get to?
How do I arrive?
How do I reach a place? How do I go to, you know, or get to a place? And llego, you know, llego, here again, llego, arrive. But with that question, you know, nobody's thinking arrive when you say that, even though it does technically mean that. ¿Cómo llego a? We would express it as how do I get to? Get is a very fuzzy word in English. How do I get to? How do I go to this place? ¿Cómo llego a? ¿Cómo llego a? And you might want to ask, the next question you might want to ask is, ¿cuántos minutos andando? Which is how many, not who, how many minutes walking? Because what people do, they'll point to which direction. And then you ask, ¿cuántos minutos andando? Oh, 4 minutos. You know, they'll give you like a ballpark number because it's just so much more common for people to walk the cities in a lot of these foreign countries as opposed to riding or driving everywhere. Okay, yeah. So those are some quick, down and dirty, easy things with directions. See? Yeah. I'm going to see while you're off in chat room if I can find the somewhat more. Actually, there is a very good video, but she kind of really gets into the weeds pretty deep. So I might give you a link for two. One is the down and dirty, and one is the, you know, aren't you afraid? ¿Cómo llego a? How do I get to? And then somebody goes, primero tienes que seguir muy recto, quizás maybe, vamos a ver, 5 minutos. Entonces, en el semáforo vas a doblar a la derecha, quizás, bueno, ¿cuánto? 4 cuadras, creo, sí. Y está a la izquierda. And then you're like, I am totally lost. So you want those like 3 questions and like, you know, whatever it was, 5 or 7 words. You want that so that you can, and you know, and they know you're a beginner if you go in and that they need to slow down. They usually know, so they'll be helpful. But it's helpful to know that stuff. Okay. Bien. Vale, entonces, hay más preguntas sobre Destinos. Any other questions about this?
Yeah, I had one question. When Angela is introducing her aunts and uncles, she calls one aunt Titi instead of Tia.
It's a nickname. It's like Auntie. Titi.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a nickname like Auntie. It would be like the auntie equivalent of saying Nana, or like, you know how some people use a phrase like Opa or Papa for grandpa? It would be like that, except it's the auntie version, Titi. And interesting, she uses an affectionate one, and then she turns around and sticks her tongue out at her, you know, because she's mad. No vas a Mexico. You are not going to Mexico. Yeah, okay. Esa Olga, you know, she does this. So, okay. Bueno, hay más preguntas. Okay. Few things I want you to notice. I'm going to do this on a share screen as well. We'll just clear these out. And these are things that kind of just happened. It's very serendipitous, as they would say. There were a lot of commands rolling through this. Uh-oh, my lights just blipped. I'm getting very afraid. Here we go. There were a lot of commands, and there were a lot of commands where they wedged in pronouns. So this whole very problematic thing of what do I do with these, me, te, nos, le, la, say, oh, good God, what do I do? Okay, if you got a negative command and one thing, when they have their little tiff, because Angela got mad, no me digas más, no me digas más, don't say any more to me, literally. Sometimes, and I want to point something about this phrase because it's a common phrase. No me, don't say any more to me. That's what she was saying. Don't say any more. You don't want to hear any more bad mouthing about Jorge. Everybody hates Jorge. Why do they all hate Jorge? ¿Por qué todos se oponen a Jorge? Why is everybody against him? Okay. No me digas más. No me digas más said, in that tone of voice, no me digas más is really somebody saying, hey, we're done with this topic. But sometimes somebody may say to you, let me get my, in a very different tone of voice, no me digas. So hay una diferencia entre no me digas más, no me digas más, and no me digas, no me digas. Shoot, they're the same except they're missing the más word.
You don't say?
Don't say, yeah.
Don't tell me.
Wow, yeah. You don't say. So when would you use this?
You're coughing.
Yeah, I got a hole in one. No me digas. Yeah. Tengo un Ferrari nuevo. Oh, no me digas. See, gané la lotería. I won the lottery. No me digas.
No me digas.
See, so, no me digas could be, you have to listen for el tono de la voz, the tone of voice. No me digas. No me digas. No me digas. Enfadado, enojado, if they say that mad, it's one thing, but otherwise, no me digas is a super, super common way for people to respond to each other. You don't say. And actually, they want you to go on and tell more in general. So it's kind of a misnomer sort of a phrase, isn't it? Oh, here was another one. Also a command. No te pongas tan ofensiva. No te pongas tan ofensiva. Although she didn't say it with quite that much attitude. No te pongas tan ofensiva. Don't get all
Offended?
Yeah. Okay. Wait a minute. What's that te pongas thing? Well, first of all, this is a command. Because it's pongas, it's a command. It's a negative command. Just like no me digas is a negative command. Don't say anything. This is no te pongas. Ponerse is another one of those verbs with a many uses, right? Ponerse means to put on, like clothing or jewelry or perfume. Okay. Ponerse plus an adjective means something quite, it means, you're taking it on. Ponerse plus an adjective has a different kind of meaning. In English, we would say to get whatever that description is, okay? Entonces, me pongo muy enojada. Me pongo muy enojada. Me pongo muy enojada cuando nadie limpia la cocina. I get really
Mad.
cuando nadie limpia la cocina.
And nothing's clean in the house.
Sí, exacto, okay? Me pongo muy enojada. I get really angry. So whatever this adjective is, because obviously this is not me pongo los calcetines, I'm putting on my socks. me pongo una chaqueta. No, it's not putting clothing on. It's you put on this attitude. Yeah, you're putting on an adjective. So you get a certain way. This is one of those very problematic phrases for English speakers. Me pongo, adjetivo, me pongo, I get that way. Me pongo muy enojada. Otro ejemplo, te pones nervioso. Te pones nervioso. You know, lo que sea, whatever situation. Te pones nervioso cuando tienes que hablar español. Te pones nervioso cuando tienes que hablar español. You feel this way, you get this way when you have to. Yeah. Okay. So whatever this description is, it tells you how that person gets. So that command is saying, hey, don't get so,
Bent out of shape.
yeah, don't get so put off. Don't get so ticked off, offended. Don't be so offended. So ponerse with a description means you're getting that way. Okay, es interesante. So what I wanted you to notice was when we've got a negative command, those words me or te, they go where they normally go, in front of the verb. Okay, but you know, if I have an affirmative command, they do the opposite position, those pronouns, they get attached. So if I tell somebody, well, first of all, you probably wouldn't make an affirmative, like get happy. Yeah, no. So let's pick a different thing that's got a pronoun. Let's take ponerse, but with clothing, because that's easy. You tell the kids, put on your shoes. Yeah. Pónganse los zapatos. Chicos, pónganse los zapatos. Pónganse. If it's an affirmative command, that little pronoun gets tagged onto the end. And a command is just telling somebody, go do it. Okay. Put on your jacket. Ponte la chaqueta. Ponte la chaqueta. Put on your glasses, dear, so you can read. Ponte las gafas. Ponte las gafas, querido. Ponte las gafas, querido. Ponte los lentes, if you use lentes instead. So with an affirmative command, we attach these little puppies. Yeah. But once it becomes negative, it goes back up in front of the verb, like in a regular sentence. Yeah.
So you're conjugating like ponte las gafas.
Like tape.
Yes. Okay.
So yeah, so how are you conjugating it?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because it's like you're putting it on half the word instead of like poner.
Yeah. That word pon is confusing, isn't it? That's because commands are confusing. Yeah. Okay. That opens a big can of worms, but we'll open part of that can of worms.
Okay.
We'll open part of that can of worms, just so that you know. Because if somebody gives you directions to, go someplace, they're going to tell you with all commands. So we're going to take that command direction. And remember, if some of you are confused about this whole thing of what is she talking about with commands, we don't even really, honestly, we don't think about this. We just don't in English think about it. But grammatically, and we don't think about it because English doesn't have different forms, but other languages have different forms for verbs. So, okay, if I say, he always he always makes sure that he always makes sure that he looks before he turns at the stoplight. That's a statement of fact. He makes sure that he looks both ways when he turns at the stoplight. It just says he's doing it. But if I say, look to your right when you make that turn, that's a command. You're telling somebody not the fact that they're doing it, that you want them to do it. Okay, so that's what a command is. A command is you want somebody to do something or you want them not to do it. And unfortunately, in Spanish and French and a bunch of other languages, they have the verbs do different things with commands. All right, so let's take this verb seguir, which is a problematic verb anyway. Oh, that verb seguir. Seguir means to follow or continue. And this is the first word you're going to hear if somebody gives you directions. It means to follow, to continue, to keep on going. It means all that stuff. Seguir. Seguir is an I stem changer. Oh, shoot. It's an IR verb. It's a go verb. It's all kinds of stuff. Here's the only thing you need to know. You need when you make a command, you have to know how to say the yo form. And the yo form is sigo. And once you know sigo, you can make a command automatically. Sigo is the yo form. Once I know that sigo is yo form, I look at that word sigo and I say, I'm going to get rid of this letter, the o. Seguir is one of those IR verbs. Normally it would have e sounds, right? Sigue, sigue, siguen, seguimos, e and e sounds at the end. To make a command for usted, because usted commands are the polite way you talk to people. It'll use the opposite vowel. Instead of those e sounds, it'll use an a sounds. So it sounds like it's wrong because an a sound is not a way to conjugate an IR verb. But in a command, that is the way you have to make an usted command, an ustedes command. So the way somebody is going to tell you, keep going straight, is just this. Siga derecho. Siga derecho. Keep going straight. Siga derecho, 4 cuadras. Keep going straight, 4 blocks. Siga derecho. If you're standing there with your hubby or with your wife, and the person is talking to both of you, he's not going to say siga, because there are 2 of you. He's going to say it this way. Sigan derecho. He just puts an N on the end. Hey, you guys, keep going. Sigan derecho. Okay? So, here's the tu verb. But again, if you stop a stranger on the street, they're not going to give you a tu command. They don't know you from Adam. It would be rude. Okay, but if you were talking with a kid, right? If you were talking with a kid, this is what the tu verb would sound like. Sigue. Sigue. What sigue is the tu verb without the S. The S goes bye-bye. There's the tu command. So if you're talking to somebody you know real well, you can use that. But if you're stopping somebody on the street, you're never going to use sigue. You're going to use siga, or they're going to use siga with you. Siga. You're talking to a bunch of you, sigan. Okay? So those are commands. Okay? I'm going to stay away from the pon right now because pon is a very irregular. So here is how confusing it is, though. I don't want to confuse you, but I just want to show you. Sigue, okay, let's look at affirmative versus negative. Siga or sigan are keep going, right? If I wanted to make it negative, it would just be no siga, or no sigan. You know, don't keep going because I don't know, there's a detour, whatever, right? So, you know, it's not really different. Siga just gets a no in front of it. Sigan just gets a no in front of it. But look what happens with sigue. When it becomes a negative command, it becomes no sigas. Yeah, ooh is right. So giving a to command is super, super easy. We're going to have a mini lesson on that in a minute. A to command that says go do it is usually pretty easy. It's the to form without the s at the end, unless it's an irregular. But a negative to command goes to this word here you used for usted. Look at this. Sigas, siga, sigas, sigan, no sigas. So in order to do a negative to command, you have to use an usted command with an s back on the end. Yeah. And then it's further complicated by the fact that poner for to command is this. Wait a minute. That's not, she told us it was going to be pones and get rid of the s at the end. Well, normally it isn't, but that one is odd. So it's that. I know.
Okay, so that's how it looks like it's only half a word that
It
somebody.
looks like it's half a word.
Okay.
Yeah. So do you need to know all of those and memorize them today? No. But what are commands that would be common for people to say on the street? Well, that direction, you know, siga, that would be common. Okay, let's look at another thing with directions that might be a command. Doble, turn. Doble. Doble a la derecha, turn right. Doble a la derecha. Or they might use turn as, whoops, gira, which also means turn. There are a lot of words for turn, but you know, there are two, doble, gira, there's turn. Okay, let's look at another familiar command. Somebody says, oh, take this. They're giving you something. They're giving you a map. They're giving you a cup of coffee. They're giving you a bottle of water. They're giving you something, right? And they want you to take it. Tome. Take. Take it. They're giving you a cup. Yeah? Una taza. La taza, right? Sí, correcto. La taza. Okay. Take it becomes tómela. Take it. If you've got el mapa and they say take it, they will say tómela because it's el mapa. They'll say tómelo. They give you some food. Eat up. Go ahead, eat. Ooh, coma. Coma. If they sit down at the table, they look at everybody. Coman. Coman, por favor. You know, everybody's waiting. You know how everybody has that nervous moment? They're sitting there waiting. Who's going to start? Everybody does that in every culture. Coman, por favor. Eat, please. Can I just start eating? Coman, por favor. Yeah, okay. Bien. They might even say it as, you know, coman, there's to the whole group, right? It might be this. Comanse.
Eat up.
With a se at the end, eat up. Chow down. That's comanse. Chow down, right? It's kind of like, oh, do it fast, get moving, start doing it. Yeah, the say at the end just makes it, let's get going here. It hurries it up, okay? So, you know, these are are common things. To hear people speaking in commands is extremely common. You know, read this, take this, turn here, sit down, please. Wow, you go to a restaurant and here comes a pronoun. Oh, I gotta get my accent. Siéntese, siéntese. Siéntese, have a seat. Siéntese. Hey, all you people, sit down. Like there are a whole bunch of you at the table. Siéntense. Siéntese. Siéntense for everybody. Okay? Okay? But let's say they're cleaning that table and they don't want you sitting there. Like you thought that's where you're supposed to go and you got confused. Okay? And they tell you don't sit down there. No se siente aquí. Don't sit here. No se siente aquí. No se sienten aquí, right? The se comes back up front because it's a negative command. Sentar gets the wrong looking, the wrong sounding vowel in a command. That's an usted command. It should be sienta because it's sentar. Not now because it's a command. It should be sientan because it's sentarse. Not here because it's a command. So if it sounds like, gee, did they say that wrong? No, they're probably giving you a command. That's what that's doing. Okay, bien? That's kind of in a nutshell. We should perhaps do a lesson either next week or the week after on some little things with commands. Did that sound helpful? See? Yeah, because commands are so, you know, anytime you're in a really any restaurant, any theater, any hotel setting, people will use commands all the time. So we'll do some of that. And you're hearing it all the time in these videos, right? Another little thing I want you to notice. It was such a blip. It was such a blip, you probably didn't think about it. But I noticed, of course. And I went, oh, yeah. I didn't notice the first time because it was just like, yeah, right. When she was sitting down with the aunts and uncles, when Angela was sitting down with Raquel and the aunts and uncles, and Titi Olga got all like, you know, I'm throwing my weight around, literally. She's doing that, yeah. I'm trying to remember if his name is Felipe, one of the uncles, un tío fulano, one of those guys. Un tío, he asked, you know, they were talking about this document. Wow, did Raquel have that documentary proof? And he was implying usted. He didn't say the word usted. Can't get my punctuation right. Trae los documentos. He's asking, did you bring the documents? He wanted to see some documents, right? As part of the family about, you know, this long lost grandfather we didn't even know existed. Trae los documentos. And notice he said trae. He didn't say lleva, did he? Okay. Why is that? Because that was the perfect illustration of when you use traer and when you use llevar.
They were all in the same place. The documents weren't going anywhere. They were all sitting in the couch in the same room.
They were at the destination they were supposed to be in that living room, sitting down with the aunts and uncles.
Yeah, the end point.
So when he said trae los documentos, he was saying, did you bring the documents? Because they were at the destination they were all supposed to be. And if she's here, she must have this stuff with her because she's supposed to have her stuff, right?
Right.
But if they were on the phone, right? If they were on the phone, Raquel might have said, llevo los documentos, llevo los documentos, I'll bring. Yeah, if she's not there with him in the room, and she's saying, hey, I'll bring this stuff, she's not going to say traigo, I'm bringing, because she's not with him yet. If her intention is to do it, right, I'm bringing the documents, it'll be llevo los documentos, I'll bring them. But she'll use llevo because she's not in the room with him yet. Once they're all in the same room, it becomes this word. Because now they're all in the destination they're supposed to be in. Does that help you see a little bit better what we talked about with that? Yeah, that's kind of a thing. Okay. Yeah. And you heard some examples. They also used that wonderful quedar that you're going to use soon. Ángela le dijo a su, le dijo a quién? Oh, le dijo a Raquel. She told Raquel, me quedé con mi abuela. I stayed with my grandma. Me quedé. And she used it as a past. I stayed with my grandma while my mom was sick. Me quedé con mi abuela para cuidar a mi mamá. I stayed with my grandma to take care of it. And that was one of the uses of quedar. Okay? So we had that. Okay, a ver. Unless you've got a question, I'm going to move on different topic. ¿Sí o no? No. Okay. Vale. Quiero que ustedes practiquen. I want you guys to take some practice time now. And I want us to practice with our verb quedar. So we're going to pull out this page. And here's what we're going to do, because I think it helps rather than making it super overwhelming. We are going to go into breakout rooms with partners on Zoom, but I want you to work at 4 ideas at a time and no more than 4. So I want to do a little burst, come back and compare notes. A little burst, come back and compare notes. Does that make sense? See? I think that way it's like super clear. Our questions are going to be on these 4 things. Okay, and we're going to take a look at, are we using quedar in a way that's reflexive, to say something is left over, to say you're going to meet up with somebody, to say that you're agreeing on something, or you're talking about clothes and you're in a fitting room, or you're getting dressed and shoot, you ate so much on that cruise that you don't think it fits anymore, right? You can, I've had that happen. Okay. So quedarse, reflexive, stay, right? Left over, it'll be a me or a te or a nos. Something is left to us, probably. You know, like we've got milk left over in the fridge. We've got food left over from dinner tonight, right? Quedar con is you're meeting up with somebody. Literally, you're going to go into the same physical space with them. Okay. To agree to do something is quedar en. Un ejemplo, a really good example. This quedar en is often we agreed on 8 o'clock. Quedamos en las 8. We agreed on 8 o'clock, like as a meeting time. Quedamos en comer en un restaurante. We agreed to eat at a restaurant. Okay, that kind of agreed. Okay, we're just going to look at these 4. I'm staying at the Hilton. The museum is really far off. We have 10 minutes of class left. Do these pants fit me? And they're all going to use quedar in some way. Vale? Somos 15. We got 15 of us. I want you to be in groups of probably around 3 people. So we're going to put you out into 5 groups. Let's see what it does. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Okay, vale. I think maybe just 3 or 4 minutos. 3 or 4 minutos for 4 ideas. You see? ¿Creen que sí? Okay. Remember to hit your join button when that opens up, and then we'll bring you back, see if you got these ideas right. Muy bien. A ver. Okay. Okay. Muy bien. And remember, sometimes maybe there is a workaround. And if you have a problem, it's always okay to do a workaround. But we want to try to kind of flex our muscles a little bit with this verb quedar, because it is such a common verb. Okay. Vamos a ver. We're going to take a look. ¿Cómo se dice, por ejemplo? ¿Cómo se dice? I'm staying at the Hilton.
Me
Me
quedo
quedo-
en el hotel Hilton.
Sí, me quedo. Me quedo, that one needs to be reflexive. Me quedo en el Hilton, en el hotel.
Marilyn, are you
Hilton.
sharing your screen?
Did we see your screen?
No, I'm going to see.
Thanks.
I'm torn between, oh no, that's right, I can still see you guys. Me quedo en el Hilton, me quedo en el hotel Hilton, you know, depende, see? If you just said Hilton, they'll get it too. Jen. Oh, I think you're on mute.
Okay, yeah. Fred's dream, keeping me on mute. It's not gonna work, buddy. It seems to me, I'm a little confused. It seems to me quedar and quedarse, that quedar is one of those words that may or may not be reflexive, and it can mean a whole bunch of things. And so when you hear some derivative of quedar, queda, something, just brace yourself, because they're going to say something out of the box that
Yes,
doesn't
that's
necessarily
why.
make
See,
sense to you in
So-
terms of, because I think of stay here, but it could mean all kinds of things about time left and meeting up and, you know, do my pants fit and all kinds of stuff. So I don't have a
how
good
can
grasp
one
of it.
word
Yeah, I
morph
don't have
into
a
so
good
many
grasp.
bizarre things, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause it's not all, it's not like Kedar is always reflexive. It's only reflexive a couple of times. And then Cody and Maria gave some other,
I like the Cody and Maria one best
Mhm.
because those were very, very spontaneous and normal comments.
yeah, kind of real world
Yes.
stuff. Yeah.
And I'll put the link for that in again on the recap because that it is worth watching again.
Mhm.
You know,
Marilyn, I had a question about that too, regarding, because in the video, Why Not Spanish, they said, como me quedo la comida, which does not go with staying. You know, it's quedarse, at least I think it is, but
Well-
I couldn't figure out how does it fit into this pattern?
we'll take, yeah, and part of the problem is it's kind of what Juanita said of it means so many things. And the reason we're doing it is that people do use this a lot. People do use this just on the street a lot, all the time. And it means so many different things. So it's good for you to have a frame of reference. But it is one of those things that are like, you know, Juanita said, oh, I hear quedo or queda. Yeah, brace yourself. Yes, listen carefully for the rest of the sentence. That's absolutely true. Listen for the whole, this is one of those context killers. Yeah.
I need to be ready with no comprendo.
You hear that word and listen like you're stuck like a magnet, yeah, to a refrigerator. Okay, that is exactly right. And you know what? When we're done with these four, Susanna, what we're going to do is we're going to do like a lightning round real quick through that video again to look through each little example. And we'll take a quick look at all those.
Thank
Okay. Bien.
Marilyn, question?
Sí, Susana. Sí.
Thank you. In number one, I'm staying at the Hilton. I wondered if the verb changes with the idea of tense. In other words, am I staying at the Hilton presently, or is the Hilton where I'm going to stay when I go on vacation?
Oh, do you mean right now or maybe coming up?
Correct. Does that make a difference in the me quedo?
This can mean either one.
Okay.
Yay. It can mean either one. Qué buena pregunta. What a good question.
Thank you.
What timeline? These are exactly, yes, this is great. Okay. What timeline are we talking about? Well, wait, I know that's present tense. It must mean now. It might mean now. It might mean tomorrow. It might mean next week. Yeah, somebody asks you, you're going on vacation. ¿Dónde te quedas? Where are you staying? And you're not on vacation. So they're asking you about coming up. Yeah. Okay. So that good. That me quedo in a Hilton might be interpreted as, and again, it depends on your context. I'm staying at the Hilton right now. It's a fact. Like, yes, it's right now. Okay. It might mean I'm going to stay there near future. Probably not next year. That's a little too far down the road, right? But yeah. It's probably one of those two. It might be near future. Present tense is often used as near future. Now, here are two other ways they might tell you absolutely this is future. Okay. Absolutely this is future. It might morph into this. Voy a quedarme. Voy a quedarme. That's future for sure. You don't have to listen too hard. Voy a, I'm going to.
Okay.
So I'm not right now, but you know that's coming up. Yeah. Voy a, for sure it's future then. Voy a quedarme. And here's another one, which depending on where you are is, I put it last because it's less common. Me quedaré, I will, I shall stay. That's a more formal future. Why do I say formal? En México no se usa con frecuencia el tenso del futuro. In Mexican conversational use, and I say Mexico very specifically, in conversational use in Mexico, future tense, formal future tense, which is what me quedaré is less frequent in just casual chit chat. Common in newspapers, common in more formal settings, business settings. I literally sat at a table with 5 people who got into a fight over this. And they said, really? You teach future tense to your 4th year students? Really? Why? No one uses it. No one ever uses future tense in Mexico. What a waste of your time. A little judgmental. And everybody else said, oh no, you must, because they have to know that, and they have to know. What if someone uses it? No one's ever going to say that. Well, no one's ever going to say that if you're just talking in a very casual way, you know. And so, but that is kind of true. So that's why I say formal future, because you may see that or hear it more in a business setting, or for sure you'll read it. Okay. And it's wrong to say kids should never learn future tense because they do use it. Okay. Now,
What would past tense be? What would past tense be?
Past tense. Okay. I stayed and I'm done. I'm back home, right? My vacation is sadly over.
Yeah.
Me quedé. Me quedé. I stayed. I stayed. If it's all done, me quedé. And you got to punch the A. Me quedé is very different from me quedé. Me quedé is yeah, something else you don't want to know yet. Me quedé, punch the E at the end. Me quedé, me quedé. Me quedé con mi familia. I stayed with my family. Me quedé aquí. I stayed here. Okay, vale. Yeah. Okay, museum is really far off. Now, normally when you say is with location, you think what verb?
Está.
Estar, right. So normalmente, el museo está muy lejos. El museo está muy lejos. That's fine. That's fine. But see, somebody may say to you, you ask, ¿Cómo llego al museo? How do I get to the museum? And what you're expecting to hear back is, el museo está cerca, it's near, el museo está lejos, the museum is far. That's what you're expecting to hear. And instead they say to you this. What? What do you think?
El museo queda muy lejos.
They come back at you with that. Because they're not thinking, gee, I should use estar with this person.
Right.
I better use estar. Es norteamericano. He's North American. I better use estar. No, they don't care. Whatever comes to their mind. And if what they feel like that day is, queda allá, it's over there. Oh, you know, they might also say, queda allá. Allá is out there. Allá. You know, that's way over, oh, yonder. Yeah. So they might use that too. So
especially when they find out that you are North American and the museum is right around the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vale. But please know, queda is a perfectly good word to use as a plug-in that means the exact same thing as esta when you're talking about where buildings are located. So when you travel, people may very likely say, you know, oh, la estación de metro. Ah, queda una cuadra. Oh, metro station. It's just a block. So it very likely somebody may use queda where you wanted them so badly to use estar. Okay. ¿Cómo se, but that, you know, that happens. That's real life, right? Okay. But they come back is not what you expected. We have 10 minutes of class left. And we can't use left. Look, left, izquierda. No, it's not that left. And salir, to leave. No, it's not that left. Darn. And you say, I'm running out of lefts.
Tenemos 10 minutos de clase.
Sí. Okay. So here is, if we're going to use quedar, nos quedan 10 minutos más.
Not quedamos?
It's not quedamos.
Oh, qué buena pregunta. No, nos quedan 10 minutos más de clase. O 10 minutos de clase. I would say más, but you know, somebody might drop the más. Nos quedan, wait a minute, why is that? Why? Well, she must be out of her mind. SRP not only cut off the electricity, they cut it off to her brain. Oh, clearly she misspoke because it means me, we have. How can that be right? Oh, because these minutes, they remain. They are left over. That is why. Nos quedan 10 minutos. Nos quedan 10 minutos.
Okay. So you just said de clase. You don't say de la clase?
Probably just clase. Sí, yeah. Sí.
Okay.
Oh, somebody will understand you, whether you use la clase or just clase. Okay. Why
So
is it quedan?
is that used in a reflexive way or no?
No, it's
No,
not
sis-
reflexive because reflexive means I do it and the action bounces back to me. And what we're saying now is quedar really means is left over.
So nos is the what?
Nos is right. Who has that left?
We do.
Who?
Right,
Yeah.
What function is it in the sentence grammatically?
It's an indirect object.
Okay.
So could it also be nosotros quedan?
No.
Okay.
No. It's got to be nos. These minutes are left over to us. ¿Cómo se dice? So let's look at the pattern. Nos quedan, and it's quedan because minutos is more than 1 minuto, right?
Right.
Nos queda un minuto. Okay, let's look at the little difference here. If I change that to 1 minute, like, oh my God, hurry up. prisa, 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 apúrate, right? Hurry up. Nos queda un minuto. Nos queda un minuto. Nos queda. Only 1 minute is left. So it's queda. The thing that left is left over. That's what happens to queda. Nos quedan 10 minutos, pero nos queda un minuto. Nos queda un minuto. Okay. What if I only have a minute left? I only have 1 minute left.
Me queda un minuto.
Me queda, because I'm not staying. It's not me quedo. I'm not staying anywhere. I have stuff left over and I've only got this one thing left over. Me queda un minuto. ¿Cómo se dice, hey, you only got 1 minute left?
Te gusta.
Te queda un minuto. Te queda un minuto. Oh, he's only got a minute left. He's never going to make it. He is never going to make it. Le queda
okay,
un
so
minuto.
Boy, this is like gustar.
It's
So
like
you just
gustar. It's exactly like gustar.
use- Okay.
And the only thing you're going to see, this tells who's got something left over. That tells who's got something left over. And here's the verb. It's either queda or nobody's ever going to say, oh, Marilyn's left over. Keith's left over. No, we don't use it with people. We use it with things. Okay. So you've got a bunch of stuff left over. Muy importante. Tengo un vino especial. Tengo un vino muy especial, pero me quedan solo 2 botellas de este vino. Pero me quedan solo 2 botellas. I've only got 2 more bottles left of the good stuff. Me quedan solo 2 botellas. It's exactly like gustar. Me gusta, me gustan. Te gusta, te gustan. Le gusta, le gustan. Les gusta, les gustan. It's exactly like gustar. Qué bien. What's a workaround? Oh God, I'll never remember this, you say. Okay, what's a workaround? Here's a workaround everybody can use. That thing of 10 minutes left. Hay 10 minutos más de clase. There are 10 minutes more for class. You're having a big brain fart and you just can't remember it, right? I they'll understand you, right? It's got the same meaning. It's not the same translation, but it's got the same meaning. And that's what matters, is that somebody knows what, you know how to say what you mean. So the real basic level, hay 10 minutos de clase, but how somebody's really going to talk to you is this way. This is how they're going to say it to you. Nos quedan 10 minutos. That's how they're likely to say it. And you're not expecting it because you want to hear this. Because all you got to think about is I, which never changes. Oh, please use I. And they don't. Yeah. Why didn't you use I? You say, why can't you use I and make my life simple? Okay.
As long as they're saying it and I don't have to come up with it.
There you go. But see, you got to know what they mean, right?
That's right.
And here comes the big fat queda word. Oh my God, it's a queda. I got to listen to the rest of this. Doggone it. Yeah. Okay. Dale. Do these pants. The lethal question of the wife to the husband.
Yeah.
¿Cómo me queda estos pantalones?
Yeah, well, okay. Yeah, you know what? And there are some variations. So let's, como me quedan estos pantalones. So don't like scribble off furiously if that's not what you wrote. Pantalones. That's one way. Como me quedan? But now if we really want to fit the well word in, well is bien, right? Bien. Okay. So if I just want it to be a yes, no question, me quedan bien estos pantalones. ¿Me quedan bien? ¿Me quedan bien? Oh, sí te quedan bien. Sí te quedan bien. And the answer you don't want to hear, no, no te quedan bien. No, no te quedan bien. No te quedan, no, no te quedan bien. No me gustan los pantalones, no me quedan bien. No te quedan bien. No te quedan bien. Hay otros pantalones, no te quedan bien.
So,
Exacto.
so Marilyn, gafas is singular, but pantalones is plural?
No, gafas is plural.
Oh, it is plural as well. Oh, okay.
Yep, boom and boom. So some places, depending on where you are, some people will use gafas. Some people will use lentes, lentes, lentes. Lentes is also glasses. And it depends on what region you're in, what country you're in, sometimes different regions in different countries. Everybody knows that those are the two words. Lentes to some people means just the lens part of the glasses. To other people, it's like, no, 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 lentes, it's the whole thing. So, depende.
So where I got confused, isn't there a common noun that looks like it should be plural, but in fact it's really singular?
Yes, there is.
Maybe that's where I'm confused. And I
Okay.
thought,
Oh,
Fred, I
tijeros.
El
thought the same
paraguas. El paraguas, umbrella. It's for water. El paraguas. Paraguas ends in an essay. So you think, well,
Yeah.
but it's one. El paraguas. El paraguas. So there are funky words like that. El paraguas. Wait a minute then. How do you say umbrellas? You need 5 of them.
Las paraguas?
No,
Los paraguas. And paraguas does not change at all.
Oh, sorry, it's L.
Yeah, los paraguas.
Yeah.
That would mean umbrellas, the umbrellas.
no, now
There are a few words like that, but very few.
what about zapatos?
Zapatos, plural.
Oh, okay.
Because if you've only got one shoe, it's zapato.
Oh, okay. All right.
Por ejemplo, esto es muy posible. Me queda bien el zapato para el pie izquierdo. The shoe fits on the left foot, pero en el pie derecho no me queda bien.
Okay.
Yeah, like, one shoe, one foot fits and the other one doesn't. Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay, bien. Vale, bueno, okay. Okay, 4 más, 4 more. Vamos a ver. Sí, 4 más. Okay, we agreed to see this movie together. Yeah. And you don't have to worry about the I'd like the fish, please. Here is what we want to focus on. We don't have any left. Okay. And let's just take 3 this time. We agreed to meet at 12. We're going to take those 3. Okay. Bien. Vale. Bueno. Okay. And there are going to be some variations that will be okay with this. So we're going to take a look at those 3. I'll send you off to work that. We'll come on back, kind of compare. A ver, 3 minutos. Okay, muy bien. All right, okay. And we had two agreed ideas here, right? And this is often used in that we context, oddly enough. I don't know, it just is often. Okay, como se dice? We agreed to see this movie together.
Okay, do we have to stick with the queda or quedan?
This
We
time,
do.
see.
Okay. So then it would be nos queda because it's a movie. One thing.
Well, is it leftover or this is
No.
one of those, yeah, it's not leftover, is it? So it won't be like gustar. It's going to be this. Here's the structure. Oh, perdón, you can't see it. Eso no ayuda. That doesn't help. Quedamos en.
Oh, quedamos en. Oh,
Quedamos en. This is like really, you talk with somebody, you're with the tour guide, you're in a group.
Okay, so
They
it's
tell
not-
you, now we're going to do this later on.
Okay, so I had quedamos en mirar or ver esta película juntos.
Sí. Quedamos en ver esta película juntos. We agreed to watch,
Okay.
to see this movie together. Quedamos en ver esta película juntos. Sí, exacto. You could get all convoluted, and it is kind of. Estábamos de acuerdo de ver. Yeah, it's a lot of words. This is the easy way that most people say this. This is the most common way to say this, that we agreed on doing something. We agreed on doing something. Quedamos en ver, quedamos en ver. It's kind of like saying, well, we got to this point. This is the last thing we talked about. Quedar, it stayed right here. This is where we left this decision, and this is where it stays. Quedamos en. We agreed to this. Okay? Yeah? Okay. Now we've got all these.
Professora,
sí, sí.
Shorten it even more. Quedamos mirar el film.
Mira, sí, el film. Sometimes you hear film, some places you might hear that. Película, I am su película.
Because I couldn't remember película when I was doing it this afternoon. So I just
yeah, film. Well, yeah, in French they do use film. It's more película.
But okay, how about the structure? Can I just go quedemos mirar el película?
La película? Oh, sure. Sí, la película.
Quedemos mirar el película.
O quedamos mirar.
Sí.
I would not use mirar, but they would know what you meant. Mirar is kind of.
Okay, that's all I'm looking for.
Yeah. Ver is, I think, much more used with watching a show. Pat? Oh, Pat, you're on mute. Oh, you're on mute, Pat.
I mean, Keith.
I'm sorry, you're on mute. And I'm going to take it off. Oh, you got it? Okay.
Or we were sort of taught, you conjugate the first verb and then you put in the infinitive and you never put any other little words in between. But in this case, we do need to have
It's got that little word.
Okay, and that always goes with it then.
This is, yes. So this is a thing of don't translate word for word. You need to know that quedar en is to agree.
Okay.
On an activity.
Together. Okay.
Right.
Madeline?
Sí.
You don't have a Google Doc on this, do you?
I can whip one up for you.
Oh.
On quedar?
Yeah, quedar say all these little things.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sí. Bien. Sí, claro. Okay. Let's finish these last couple, and then I'm going to just zip through parts of that old video just to highlight.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll come back to this next week and we'll start some of these other expressions, but that's good. It's good that you have these questions. That's really okay. Okay. What are they going to say to you when you order something and they say, we don't have any left.
No, okay.
No, no,
No
queda.
nos queda
No nos
nada.
queda. No nos queda. No nos queda, and they'll fill in the thing, you know, no nos queda pescado, whatever it is that is missing, right? They'll plug
you-
that in.
Would you use a double negative and have no nos queda nada?
Ooh, they might, they don't have to. It can just be no nos queda, perdón, no nos queda. It could be,
No nos queda
no, it could be,
alguno?
no nos queda.
Could you use alguno for any? We don't have any.
Nope, nope, they won't even bother with it, nope. Maybe ningún pescado, if they want to be really, really like ningún pescado, like they want absolutely nothing. Ningún pescado, yeah, maybe.
Marilyn,
Maybe.
what's the nos? Where I that's where I get confused.
We don't have it left.
So it's we.
We're
does
sold
not have
out.
to-
So it's
It's
not
not
It's,
left.
it's like the gustar thing all over
So
again.
it's like the gustar
It's
thing.
like the gustar thing all
Okay.
over again.
The nose.
No nos queda pescado. And then they might say, nos queda pollo, right? You know, they have maybe like two specials, and one was really popular. They sold out of all that. Oh, but we got this one. Nos queda pollo, pero no nos queda pescado. No nos queda pescado, pero sí nos queda pollo. Sí nos queda pollo. We do have that left over. Yeah?
Mhm.
Okay. Vale. Let's take a quick look at, we agreed to meet at 12, and then we're going to do a fast film and plan for next week. Okay. We agreed to meet at 12 because people do talk about when.
And we use quedamos this time.
We can use quedamos, you bet. Quedamos.
Quedamos en encontrarse a las 12.
And here's where you may hear different words for meet. It might be quedamos en encontrarse a las 12, right? It might be, now what I prefer, what I am used to using instead of encontrarse is this. Quedamos en, and I'm sorry, it won't be say, it'll be nos. That's why it's doing that to me.
Oh,
Encontrarnos, because we're the ones meeting up. Quedamos en reunirnos. Reunirnos means to get together. Reunirnos a las 12. And reunirse is a reflexive verb. It means to meet up with people. That's really, really common. They might use encontrarnos, they might use reunirnos. This means everybody's getting together. It could even be unirnos, meet up. It could even be that. So there are different words they might use for meet up, but quedamos en comer en un restaurante barato. We agreed on going to a cheap restaurant, you know, instead of an expensive one.
so if you said vamos a quedar en las 12, would that mean the same thing?
Vamos
It
a
doesn't-
quedar.
En las 12. We're going to meet.
Vamos a quedarnos is we're going to stay. Vamos a reunirnos is we're going to get together.
Okay, I was trying to use the N after it and thinking that changed the meaning. So
If we're going to do it, it's going to become vamos a. We're going to.
Right.
Yeah.
But not vamos a quedar en.
No. That's why I'm thinking so hard.
That
No.
we are going to meet. So that's
No.
what I'm trying to say.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. All right.
No. And again, here comes that same thing that was brought up by Susan here, the very, very same thing of quedamos en encontrarnos. Well, it's kind of almost has, you know, it's future. We agreed to do this and it hasn't really happened yet, has it? So it's kind of, yeah, getting into future. See? Yeah.
So why do you need the nos on the end of reunir? When back in number 5, you didn't need it with ver.
Because ver is not a reflexive. Ver is just watch, see something. You see something. You see something. But the verb for get together with other people is most frequently reunirse. And it's just a reflexive verb.
Okay.
It's just a reflexive verb. Yeah, I'm going to take this off for a quick second. We're going to do a quick run around. So I don't know if anybody has to leave early. We're going to do a quick. We're going to do the quick rundown, and I'll send you the link for this video again, because this, in some ways, she doesn't have all the uses of quedar, but this is really everyday useful. So we're going to like fast forward through the highlights. Uses of quedar. Oh, and I think I've got this, yeah, with CC. We don't want to do that. Closed caption, we don't want to do. What are some really super common uses of quedar? Solo me queda hacer la comida. And she's got a list of things. It's this to-do list. To-do list. Wash your clothes, water the plants, office meeting, making food. Okay? Solo me queda hacer la comida. But all the words we need to say that in English is now I just. What it's meaning is now in this immediate future, I just got one thing left on my to-do list. This is when you've got a whole bunch of things to do and you've only got one of them left. Solo me queda hacer la comida. And somebody is saying, I only have to do this one thing. I got nothing else to do. I'm done after this. Okay? Solo me queda. And this chore of make food, it remains just like gusta. This is just like gusta. It's not me quedo, because me quedo means I'm staying someplace. I've got my body and I'm plunking it down someplace. Making food, that's what's left on my to-do list, and it's left over to me. I have to still do it. Okay? So that's use number 1. Oh, here's the thing of something left over. Ooh, I'm almost finished. Ya casi voy a terminar. Me quedan 10 páginas. 10 pages remain, 10 pages are left for me. But we don't say it, 10 pages are left for me. That's what they're saying, literally. We say, I only, there's no only word in me quedan. It's just what it means. I only have 10 pages left. Or you could say solo me quedan, you could, but you know, me quedan 10 páginas. I only got 10 pages left. And again, it's like gustar there. Talking about location of an object. Oh, you're stopping. This is the one where you expect to hear estar.
Yeah. Señora. Sí. ¿Dónde queda esta dirección?
Where's this address? ¿Dónde queda? You could say ¿dónde está? But a lot of people will just say ¿dónde queda? I mean, that's the sad fact.
It is.
Un lugar muy lejos.
No, eso queda muy lejos.
Wow, that's really far.
Muchas personas tienen que coger un bus porque queda muy lejos, queda fuera de la ciudad.
Sí. Okay. So that's that. You expect to hear estar, but they don't use estar. Encontrarte con, meeting up with somebody.
Cuando vas a encontrarte con alguien, también puedes usar este verbo. En Colombia, por ejemplo, decimos, quedamos de vernos a las 6 en su casa. En España dicen, quedamos a las 6 en su casa.
And that's meeting up at a time. Okay, so you might hear an N, you might hear an A, so she's saying, you know, those little N and A words, people use different ones depending on where you are and who you're with. So don't sweat it. Oh,
Just you think you
I
have it.
know, I know. When do you sweat it and when don't you? Well, don't sweat it. Get as close as you can. Yeah, don't let it tongue tie you. Oh, asking and giving an opinion. And this is really the
Cuando
clothing
quieres
thing.
pedir una opinión acerca de, por ejemplo, la ropa que lleva una persona, dirías,
Cody, ¿cómo me queda esta camiseta?
Yeah. How does this t-shirt fit me? And really you're saying like, how do I look in it? You want to know that you look okay. So really you're asking about the fit, but you know, how you look.
But is this any opinion for anything or only clothes?
This will be clothes. Yeah, it's tied into that fit and look of how it looks on me. How it looks on me. Yeah. Talking about the
dar
result
tu
of
opinión
something.
acerca del resultado de algo.
¿Cómo me quedó la comida?
Yeah. Now this one is a little more advanced. So this one I think is the one that Susana asked about. What is that puppy, right? Yeah. Okay. ¿Cómo me quedó la comida? How was the food? How did I do cooking this thing? Okay, essentially, I would say out of all the phrases here, this is the least helpful for you as somebody who's traveling.
I don't understand his answer.
Yeah, it was very good. It was very good. And that's why it's quedó. It's a past. Oh, yeah, it was good.
Why do you use the te?
Because you fixed it.
He fixed
This is not one I would focus on. I would not focus on the structure for you guys at all. Yeah. It's yeah, I know. It's like it's a shooter, you know, she's got some hit or misses here. This one is okay. It's pretty common in Colombia. It's okay, but are you going to really need that to survive? No. But that queda, where's this address? People will use that with you. This one won't be as usable for you.
And the word for location was something weird, ubicación or something like
Oh,
that.
yeah. Okay, so
Never seen before.
here's what happens. Everybody in a beginning Spanish course teaches that the word place is lugar. And you're like, great, I can memorize that word because it's lugar. It's 2 syllables. I don't have to think very hard about spelling it. Lugar. Yeah, okay. But in point of fact, a lot of people use the word ubicación for place. Ubicación takes a lot more effort as opposed to lugar. Ubicación. Ubicación. That sounds like a financial center. Ubicación. Ubicación. Ubicación does mean location. And the verb ubicar is to locate. And sadly, that is really more common in conversation than lugar. But nobody wants to teach it to you because it's a hard word.
Yeah.
Ubicación. Well, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ubicación. Seriously, it sounds like, you know, UBS, financial center. Yeah. Yeah, which doesn't help you connect to this means location. Yeah, it's tough. Okay. I think we've only got 1 or 2 more.
Nos quedamos en el Hotel Las Palmas.
Nos quedamos en el hotel. We stayed at this place. Here is the common reflexive. Nos quedamos en el hotel. We stayed at this place. So that one's not tough, right? Nos quedamos, we stayed, we lodged in this place. This is where we paid to be in a hotel. I'm forgetting which one.
Maya, quédate aquí.
No te muevas.
Ah, sí. Quédate aquí. Stay here. Here's a command. It's a tu command. It says don't move. This command means don't move. Don't go away. You here. Don't go. Quédate, quédate, stay. Quédate aquí. Stay here. Yeah. There's a command. We tag the te on to them because it's telling you do it. She's telling the dog, stay there. Okay.
Quédate. Okay, I've heard some expressions with quedar. Can you remind me of some of them?
Bueno, una es quedar hecho una sopa.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So these are going to be idioms, things that are idiomatic that mean something special and they don't literally mean what you think. And some of them are more useful than others. No queda de otra. Again, it's an idiomatic phrase. You don't need that so much. You know, I mean, it's nice to know as an extra.
Alguien cuando dejas una buena impresión en alguien.
All these
Fui la
are
única
kind of
persona en
extras.
llevar el proyecto y quedé muy
Quedar
bien con
bien,
mi jefe.
quedar mal
O
con
en una
alguien.
situación negativa.
But, you know, it's not going to be the everyday, you're going to hear it all the time. People switching out queda for está, that's going to happen to you a lot as a traveler. Because people will just do that. And then you're left hanging with, I thought estar was location. Well, it was, but they didn't feel like using that word with you. So now it's, or, you know, we've only got 10 minutes left. Let's go, vamos. So, you know, all those things, we're looking at what's practical for you more as a traveler. So if you want to look up all those little extra phrases yourself, that's cool. But survival, it won't be as big an issue. Okay, bien. We didn't get to our little, our little graphic, novela gráfica. We'll have to come on back to that stuff. Okay, bien. We're going to finish up our quedar stuff when we come back, when we open up next week.
Okay.
Está bien? And we'll tackle some of these other verbs that, you know, are used in special situations. I'll give you the new Destinos, which is going to go into new stuff happening. Yeah. Dire things happening.
Uh-oh.
It's called El Rescate, the rescue. El Rescate. I think they're going to get into some, you know, you're going to be hearing some people talking about the past. Yeah, there's going to be, because I don't want to do the spoiler, there will be some bad stuff happening. So, rescate, somebody's going to need rescuing. Bien, we'll come back, we'll finish up with quedar. We'll work some more with these verbs like pedir and preguntar, which is actually useful for you, again, conversationally, and we'll come back. That's vocab stuff. And we'll work on that. I'll send you, you want some prep stuff with the new verbs like we did with this?
Yeah.
That helps. Okay,
Sure.
bien.
I
We
think
will
it
do
does
that.
help. Yeah.
Magnifico. Okay, eso es todo. That's it for now, because I know some people will have places to be, things to do.
Gracias.